And rolling.
Alright, so I think that peer pressure is actually really strong, and that the media really does influence teens' choices with drugs, because you see all those TV shows with people that are doing drugs, going to parties, and drinking alcohol, and just making bad choices, and then they think they want to do it too. Like teens want to do that.
One of my arguments is
Nice and loud. Nice and loud.
okay. One of my arguments is people who do drugs or smoking are probably going to die anyway. This is backed by the drugs policy, and it's according to this source. It says more than 10 times as many U.S. citizens have died prematurely from cigarette smoking than have died in all the wars fought by the United States during its history.
Genetic factors have an influence on the choices that young people make regarding substance abuse. Addiction is 50%. This is backed by the fact that addiction is 50%. Is due 50% to genetic predisposition and 50% to poor goals. This has been confirmed by numerous studies.
Well, people who abuse substances usually have involvement with the juvenile justice system, which is a pretty big authority, and there's multiple laws that are against, like, usage of substance abuse, and most people that also do that, they die, and back in 1992, 91 children between the ages of 12 to 17 died of drug abuse because they chose to not stop.
Oh, you're quiet, so you're gonna have to project.
What?
Project your voice.
Yeah. Teenagers' brains are not as well developed as adult brains, and that makes them more likely to get addicted. It's like it's not complete.
Well, if people can't face the facts, then they probably can't get a hold of drugs anyway. Because if they have, like, if they can't face the facts, then they might be sick or something, have a brain problem. And to back this up, according to the CDC, if you smoke, you get, I'm not going to list it because there's a lot. I'm not going to say all of these diseases you can get because there's a lot. One of them is stroke, and you get stomach cancer, liver cancer, kidney cancer, and a lot.
Yeah, well, that's why the government should kind of do something about it, because they have a part on influencing teens to do these terrible things. Like, even music has an influence, because there's like all these popular songs that are about going to parties and all that stuff. Like, one of them is like blaming on the alcohol and all that. It's like they're like blaming on all that stuff because they make stupid choices because of the alcohol and drugs.
Well, the government is doing something. They're spending $51 billion just to stop substance abuse at its core instead of waiting it out and paying for people's rehabilitation. But how about you just stop it right where it starts for people? Just putting people in jail who abuse substances.
really not enough, because people, like you said, are still dying from it. And, like, I mean, I bet if they just made it, I guess, legal, then teens wouldn't worry about it, because they were wanting to be rebellious, and they wanted to do whatever everybody else is doing. Stuff like that.
Or role models at home strongly influence decisions that young people make and their choices regarding substance abuse and other decisions. Children whose parents, this is backed by the fact that children whose parents abuse alcohol and other drugs are 1 to 3 times likelier to be physically assaulted and more than 4 times likelier to be neglected by their parents compared to children of parents who are not substance abusers.
Are you gonna cite that source?
Was http://www.addictionandrecovery.org/is-addictions-and-disease.ht.
The U.S. federal government wastes taxpayers' money on the war on drugs, so why should we help drug addicts? And I got some information from drugsense.org. The U.S. federal government spends about $500 a second on the war on drugs. And as of February 20th, 2014, 8:27 a.m., the federal government spent $2,095,998,753. And that's just as of.
To support what?
War on drugs.
Just, what are they putting that money towards? Cause like, they could be putting it towards, like, doing rehab places, but not actually helping.
Yeah, well, if you spent all that money on rehab, then there would just be more people like overdosing on drugs and going back to rehab. And you just keep spending more money instead of stopping all the marijuana from coming into the country.
Yeah, exactly, so they have to put it into something better than that.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
What's something better?
What are they doing?
They're spending all that money to go into Mexico and like stop all the marijuana growing and drugs and like get them all away from there so they don't come into the U.S.
But isn't there still marijuana plants in the US?
Yeah, well then you can just get more money and just go around ending that instead of just keep spending with. If you end something at its source, it's bound to cost less money than letting it, like, let the problem grow by spending more money fixing the problem temporarily and then fixing it permanently.
So it's from Mexico?
Part of it's from Mexico, part of it's from other places in the world.
That's my choice right
Go ahead, continue.
There are some people who are actually like, their DNA makes them more likely to abuse drugs. So like, they have more of a chance of getting addicted to drugs and stuff.
Would you deny drugs from getting into your system?
What?
And you don't let drugs like come to the U.S. and get them, like don't let them get drugs.
Well, yeah, genes do influence them, but if the family, they'll probably know whether or not they have this problem, and they'll try and protect them from getting drugs.
What about cigarettes? What about alcohol?
To that little ladder.
What about alcohol? They could also get addicted to alcohol.
And that's completely well, I mean, it's illegal, but they can, 18-year-olds can get it, 21-year-olds can drink it at a bar.
Yeah, but if you're addicted to alcohol, then you're just gonna run out of money. Or if you're addicted to cigarettes, you're just gonna run out of money too. Like, you can't keep funding that because it costs so much.
But if you're rich, you can keep on buying.
If you, that's why they need help, so they don't run out of money and just ruin their life with that.
Because it's almost impossible to avoid cigarettes and alcohol, because it's literally everywhere. Like, you can go to Hy-Vee and there's bunches of like cigarettes that you can buy and like lighters and
They have
stuff.
like 10 hours.
But that doesn't mean you're forced to buy it.
Doesn't, yeah, but it's right there. If you tried it once and you get addicted, you'll want it.
You'll basically just buy it, no matter what.
And it's usually the first time because you're at a party or peer pressure or stuff like that.
Counter argument?
Wait, you're just.
Well, parents should help teens with substance abuse. And, well, and if sometimes parents smoke, and that influences their teens to smoke, but if they just stop, the teens will hopefully stop. Or the parents should take control and force them to stop.
Well, what are
Parents can't just stop.
they addicted to?
Cigarettes,
They need
like,
Cigarettes
it's like they're really addicting. Like, it's most people that. Wait, don't I have statistics on this? I don't know. I think it was somewhere around like 40% of people that smoke like want to stop, but they can't because it's really addicting.
Counter? Do you have a source for that, by the way?
No, I remember.
Did you make that up?
I remember seeing it. I think it was
That's
on.
what I would say if I were you guys.
It was on. No. It was on Addiction Treatment Magazine.
There you go.
Well, you can just like learn how to do max peer pressure, and then you won't have it the first time.
The government should fund that. Like, how do you deny peer pressure? Because most of us don't know that.
Well, parents can teach their kids how to deny peer pressure by like just telling them to like do the school sport and just make up excuses or just leave somebody off of some of the drugs.
But kids don't always do what their parents want them to do.
Because they're rebellious.
And sometimes their parents are addicted or have
Well,
fallen into peer
see,
pressure.
it's actions, they're more powerful than words. If their parents stop smoking, they don't actually influence them. Because that's probably what might have made them start smoking, because their parents smoke.
Yeah. And if they fall to peer pressure, like the parents did, then the government should again teach people like what to do. Because most people are just like, I'll do it, or because they don't think it's a big deal, or they want to be rebellious to their parents.
They just want to fit in.
Yeah.
People know that drugs can like be really fatal like, if you do them for a long enough time.
Or
Or
that everybody deserves.
well, there's like famous people who have smoked pot, and they're like people who are working in the government have done that, and they stopped, and they didn't do it for rehab, they just did it by themselves.
That's because they.
Marijuana isn't really.
Yeah, and marijuana isn't really like you can't die off of it, you can't overdose on it.
If you overdose on marijuana, you can lose brain mass, like your brain can literally rot.
Source?
Science love the anatomy.
Okay.
was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, that's because the government people that do pot, they like have to stop, otherwise they lose their high-paying job.
Well,
Or the reputation is
Rob
lost.
Ford, you know, he's been in the news. He smoked crack. And
Who?
Rob Ford,
Who's that?
the mayor of Toronto,
Okay.
and he's like been doing crack. And I don't think he's out of office yet. So
Well, yeah, he said he did it like a year ago, like before he started.
Sure, he said, yeah, because people don't lie about when they do drugs. Because he said in like interviews that he did it like while he was still in office.
Maybe the citizens are nice. Or they.
Wait, where's Toronto?
In Canada?
Yeah, see, it's Canada, that's why he's still in office.
Okay.
That's because people are really nice.
I think Canada's actually more lenient about drugs, aren't they? Let's look it up right now.
Oh yeah, you know syringes, where people like take shots and then they shoot themselves to get themselves high. Well, now
They
the
do
US,
what?
syringes, like.
Oh yeah, they like inject
shots
themselves
to
with drugs.
Get high.
Oh, right, okay.
And the US federal government has stopped support for this. And thanks to a federal ban reinstated by Congress.
Wait, it was supported at a
Yeah,
time?
that's my question.
Why would it be supported? Why would that drug ever be supported to do?
Well, cause
I
sometimes.
keep the chair noise to a minimum because it really covers up the talking. Go ahead.
Okay, sometimes, well, you know, like HIV, well, sometimes there's people who share their drugs, and then they get HIV, which,
But I think he's asking when the government ever supported intravenous use of illegal drugs.
Yeah, why would they support that? You said they used to support it. They stopped supporting.
We just wanted clarification. Are you saying they're getting rid of syringes or that they're changing?
well, they aren't supporting people enough, they aren't spending any money on syringe, like,
I mean, they're not
Doing
giving,
anything
they're not
with it.
giving any rehab help or anything like that, is that what you're saying?
Probably not, the government probably didn't support drugs, but if I like did pot before, maybe they like paid for the.
That's what you're talking about, right? Paying for the rehab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was confused for a second.
I was too, I was like.
I was like, why would they support illegal drugs?
Well, people who have had a drug conviction have like lost federal aid assistance. So like, why would they be able to go into rehab if they're not allowed to have any like federal financial aid?
Well, I mean, they should go there so they can get help in it. I mean, rehab saves people's lives, like, they could lose their job and their money. I mean, they might lose their job while they're in rehab, but they can get a nice job back since they're drug-free.
Yeah, but then they'd have to pay, and they don't have any money because they don't have any federal financial aid.
Yeah, that's why the
They need to do
federation
the job.
should help.
Yeah, but it's a law that they lose their financial aid because they did drugs, which means, and basically rehab is supported by the government financially. So,
Well, then who goes to rehab that's not,
well, it's like alcohol.
oh, yeah. Is it like for all drugs? Just don't do. Yeah, I mean, this is both, like, we don't do drugs, but like, peer pressure is actually really hard to turn down, like the whole thing there. It's just,
Yeah, well, but if people are like educated by their parents or at school that drugs can be like really super fatal, then they're probably not gonna fall into it. It's like, hey, yeah, I need like heroin because I'm gonna die soon.
well, I mean, all the school does really is like, don't do drugs, and then like gives you a bookmark about something. And clearly words not their thing, they're just like, whatever. I mean, we know that we're not supposed to, like most people know they're not supposed to, but they want to do it to be with everyone, like be cool, I guess.
They don't want to be isolated from the rest of the
Well, they just get their friends to stop doing drugs just by persuading them that drugs can be like legal.
Yeah, it could be,
That's
they probably know that it's
something
legal.
done.
Have you ever seen that advertisement with that person who smoked and has that thing in her neck? Because she smokes so much.
She sounds like she's.
I don't watch
Yes.
TV.
She sounds like she's talking through a cigarette.
Yeah. And
Oh.
she has a hole in her neck and it has something in it.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that.
That's why government should help.
We got hope.
That's why the government should like help them get,
Stop addiction,
yeah,
stop peer pressure.
so they don't end up like that wrinkly with a hole in their neck.
Well,
How did it?
mostly when you realize that you have a problem, it's usually too late and the effects are already gonna happen to you. Because if you know you have a problem, you've probably been doing that drug for about 5 years and it's still enough to get like a cancer from smoking or having like your throat eroded from tobacco or your gums like all messed up from chewing tobacco.
That's why they should stop it before nothing else happens.
Yeah.
Well, people usually don't realize that they have a problem if they've only been doing it for like 2 to 4 years.
If they're doing it for a year, that's an addiction.
If you're doing it for like half a year, it's that's quite.
Which is quite a long time that you've been doing that drug. Usually.
They have to have it. If they like have to have it, like they can't go without it, then, and they know that, then they probably realize that they have an addiction, so.
They should go get help, and the government should help them.
Well, as an example, there's people who go to college that drink a lot of alcohol. As an example, there's people in college like drink a lot of alcohol, and they're not addicted. Like they're not always addicted because they smoked. I mean, they drink alcohol for 4 years of college, or not 4 but 2.
Well, I mean, alcohol is different than drugs, because alcohol is not nearly as addictive. Like, honestly, you could just stop.
Alcohol is a drug, though.
Yeah, it technically is, but it's not like it's the least addictive. And like, basically, that's just, if they're drinking an excessive amount, that's really bad. But actually, a little bit of wine extends your life,
According to him.
Which kind of one?
according to my mom.
Red wine
Is that a reliable
increases-
source?
Yes,
My dad
she's a
says-
math teacher.
My dad says
Oh yeah,
red
yeah, I
wine
get that.
improves your heart health if you drink a little bit.
And he is
He's
a reliable
Chinese.
source.
I think it's a certain kind of wine that helps you.
Yeah, I think it's like red wine or something.
Yeah, not every wine.
Guys maintain your professional stature. That'd be great. There you go. We still have about 10 minutes.
Or role models in the media also influence decisions that young people make in everyday life. This is backed by the fact that influences for adolescents include their friends and peers, but also super peers, which are like famous celebrities that often abuse drugs. WWW.
No, listen. When you go to a website, that website represents an organization, correct? You're citing the organization, not the web address.
The organization is Casa Colombia.
Is what? Casa Colombia?
Yeah, Casa Colombia.
What is that?
It's like
Organization.
it's like a medical organization. Like they have a lot of articles on like medicals.
counter arguments? You wanna repeat the argument one time?
Oh yeah, so like, super cute to the celebrities that do drugs. Like, imagine having an idol, and I know it's like, you know, you say you liked Hannah Montana a lot, okay, and then she turns into what she is now, and then she does drugs. Would you like, I want to be just like her, or, you know, because you used to like absolutely just love Hannah Montana.
Well, in the same example, if like you idoled somebody like Justin Timberlake and then he turned into like a mass murderer, would you like want to be just like him?
Some people might.
Some people might.
Like totally crazy.
Well, and it's not like you wanna do, you just like what they do, like their music.
Some people.
You want to be famous like them. You want to get to be famous
What's the
like
point here that you're trying to make with substance abuse?
That like, your peers really do have an effect, especially celebrities, because they are like so famous and rich, and then they do this, but they're still rich.
Like
Because
Chris
you wanna
Rowan?
be just like
Yeah.
them,
Just-
because,
Just be really, just be
because you wanna be
really
just
bad.
like them, because you want to be famous and rich.
So what's your point?
The peer pressure is like really hard to avoid.
Super pures.
So the ultimate point would be that
Yeah.
if peer pressure is hard to avoid, so what?
It's really hard to avoid, so that's why teens fall to the substance abuse.
But that's not peer pressure because there's only like one person doing that in a whole group of like
Yeah, but like,
a lot of celebrities. There's like one person that you have an idol. You can see that there's a bunch of other people who are just as famous and just as rich and aren't doing the exact same thing as her.
Yeah, but like, let's say there's someone that's like crazy for Justin Bieber, and then whenever he was arrested for like underage,
No,
Drunk driving.
drunk driving.
It was like
Drunk driving.
yeah,
drivers.
and then other people who are like crazy for Justin Bieber might do that too.
Yeah, just because, not because they want to do it, just because of like, oh, that'd be cool. I could.
I can be Justin.
I don't think anybody wants to be Justin Bieber.
Some people are, I think, man, I wish I had affect them to severe, but that wasn't really the point.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it here so that we have time for you guys to look over your evaluations, which are gonna get passed around to you, hopefully we can go through each one. And then, you'll need to turn those in with your name on them into the box back there, after they've had a chance to look at them. Oh, it's getting great though, you guys did well.